Coco Gauff's shocking surprise at Joe Brown Park. You won't believe what happened. The afternoon was glowing with golden sunlight as Joe Brown Park in New Orleans came alive with its usual weekend hum. Children raced across the basketball courts. Families picnicked under generous oak trees, and the sounds of community life danced through the warm air. But no one, absolutely no one, expected what was about to unfold. This was supposed to be an ordinary day. Instead, it became legendary, because Coco Gauff, America's tennis superstar, Grand Slam champion, and global sensation, was about to make a surprise appearance that turned a peaceful Sunday into something magical. And what happened next was shocking, emotional, and unforgettable. A hidden mission. Coco had slipped into New Orleans quietly after completing a charity event. She planned to spend the evening relaxing, but something tugged inside her heart. Months earlier, she'd promised to stop by Joe Brown Park, one of the few community courts where kids practice despite limited equipment and cracked surfaces. Her team recommended scheduling a media event. Coco refused. She didn't want fanfare. She didn't want cameras. She wanted to show up with no expectations, no announcements, just heart. So wearing a simple hoodie, cap, and sunglasses, she arrived in an unmarked SUV, whispering to her driver, "Let's keep this low-key." What she didn't know was that Joe Brown Park had its own way of turning quiet moments into uproars. The first to notice her, it happened suddenly. A boy dribbling a basketball froze mid-bounce. The ball rolled away. His eyes stretched wide. "Nah, y'all, that's Coco Gauff." The words exploded like fireworks. Heads snapped around. Parents squinted. Teens gasped. Some stood up on benches. Others ran toward her with the speed of sprinters. A group of girls screamed like they were at a Beyoncé concert. Coco raised her hands and laughed nervously. "Hey, everybody. I just came to check out the courts." The crowd didn't just gather. They swarmed. Kids hugged her legs. Grown men attempted to keep cool, but failed. Women cried. A few attempted selfies, but their hands shook too badly. The peace of the park turned electric in seconds. The girl who didn't approach her. Everyone rushed toward Coco. Everyone except one. Across the park, on a dusty old tennis court with fading white lines, a teenage girl named Marley Richardson practiced alone. Her shoes were worn down. Her racket was barely holding together, and her hair was tied back with fraying shoelace. But her eyes burned with focus. She didn't look up when the screaming started. She didn't turn when half the park sprinted away. She didn't even blink when boys shouted, "Coco Gauff is here." She just kept swinging. Hit, bounce, hit, bounce. Her dream wasn't to take selfies. Her dream was to be the next Coco Gauff. And Coco noticed her. The walk that silenced the crowd. Coco was surrounded by fans. Yet her eyes drifted toward the lonely court, toward the girl, toward the swing that looked too disciplined for someone so young. She tapped her security guard lightly. "I'm going over there." The guard blinked. "You sure?" Coco smiled. "I'm positive." As she walked away from the crowd, whispers rose. Where is she going? Is she leaving? Who is she looking at? And then, as people followed her gaze, the entire park became quiet. All eyes shifted to Marley, the girl who still hadn't noticed anything happening around her. Coco walked up to the fence, leaned against it, and watched. Marley hit a forehand, a backhand, a perfect topspin, a clean follow-through. Coco grinned. "That's a beautiful swing." Marley froze. She turned slowly, and the world fell silent. "See, Coco?" Marley whispered, her voice cracking. "Mind if I hit with you?" Coco asked, smiling warmly. Marley dropped her racket, the match that shocked everyone. Coco picked up the fallen racket and handed it back to Marley. "I want to see how you play," she said. The entire park gathered around the court, hundreds of people pressing against the fence, standing on picnic tables, recording every second. Marley's legs trembled. I'm not good enough to play with you," she stammered. Coco shook her head. "You absolutely are. Now let's warm up." They began with short volleys. Marley's nerves slowly melted with every encouragement. "Great shot. Nice control. That topspin is fire." Her confidence grew. Then Coco tossed a ball in the air. Let's play first to 5 points. A collective gasp swept the crowd. You want play? Marley asked. Play? Coco confirmed. And it began. Point 1. Marley served. Coco returned it expertly. Marley ran, swung, and, by sheer miracle, hit a winner. The crowd erupted. Oh! Marley with a shot. No way. Coco clapped. That was nasty. Keep that energy. Point 2. Coco served. Ace. Marley didn't stand a chance. She giggled nervously. Okay, that was evil. Coco winked. Can't let you win too fast. Points 3 and 4. The rallies grew longer, faster, more intense. Marley showcased grit and hunger. Coco showcased creativity and control. The score tied, 2-2. Point 5, the point that went viral. Coco hit a deep ball. Marley sprinted, slipped, recovered, slapped an unbelievable cross-court forehand. The ball hit the line. Dead on. The crowd screamed like the Saints won the Super Bowl. Coco stared in shock. That shot was professional level. Marley covered her face, shaking with disbelief. After a thrilling exchange of points, Coco won 5-4, but no one cared about the score. They cared about the moment. They cared about the magic, the shocking gift. After the match, Coco placed her own racket in Marley's hands. This is yours now, she said. Marley shook her head wildly. No, I can't take your racket. I can't. Yes, you can. The moment that changed a life. As Coco prepared to leave, she turned back to Marley. Listen to me, she said softly. You have something special. Don't stop training. Don't doubt yourself. And don't let anyone tell you your dreams are too big. Marley nodded, tears still streaking her cheeks. Yes, ma'am. And when you make it, Coco added, come back here, inspire someone else. Pass it on. Marley hugged her. The entire park clapped. Coco walked back to her SUV, turning around one final time to wave at the hundreds of people whose lives she touched in just an hour. The aftermath. By the time Coco's SUV left the park, hashtag Coco at Joe Brown Park hit 20 million views. Marley's winning forehand went viral worldwide. Coaches began messaging Marley within hours. News stations showed up asking for interviews. TikTok edits of the match exploded. The entire city buzzed with pride. But Marley didn't care about fame. She cared about the moment, the validation, the belief, the spark Coco lit inside her. That night, she placed Coco's racket gently on her bedside table and whispered, I'm going to make you proud. 1 year later, the final shock. At a regional junior tournament, the audience buzzed in anticipation. Marley Richardson stepped onto court stronger, faster, and more confident than ever. She reached into her bag and pulled out Coco's racket. The crowd cheered, and then someone gasped. Standing in the back row, wearing sunglasses and a hoodie, was Coco Gauff. She had come to watch Marley compete. When Marley saw her, she straightened her shoulders, lifted her chin, and smiled. Coco nodded proudly. A legacy had begun. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.